Ba-da-bum, ba-da-bum, ba-da-bum. Who's the best Digimon protagonist from the anime? Psh. I'd probably say Takuya. Takuya from Frontier. That's a hard pick. Because, like, honestly, Tai, Davis, Takato, and Takuya, all pretty good. Something, Marcus is trash. We don't have to have that discussion again. Taiki is fine. Die. Actually, funnily enough, I think Takato is, like, the weakest of the good protagonists. But that's mostly because I feel like Guillemon hard carries that relationship. Like, when I think about Takato, I don't really think about Takato, I think about Guillemon. Because I love Guillemon. I think Guillemon is a really, like, fun and enjoyable to watch partner Digimon in Tamers. But, all I remember... Like, I'm trying to think about, like, what Takato's character is. And I can't really think of any standout moments of Takato, other than when he's, like, yelling at Guillemon to be Megidramon and beat up Beelzemon, but that's less about Takato and more about Beelzemon and Megidramon. Like, other than that, I don't really remember anything about Takato, but I remember a lot about Guillemon. But, like, Takuya, Tai, Davis. I really like Davis. I might like Davis more than Takuya, to be honest. It's definitely one of those two. He's the big brother to the protagonist, Guillemon. Yeah. I met a lot of people who think Davis is the worst Digimon protagonist. What are you talking about? Marcus is right there. I know there are some people who don't really like Davis, but I really like Davis. I like his vibe. I like his, I really like his friendship with Ken. I think it's one of his strongest points. Part of what makes Ken and Davis such great characters is their friendship to one another. And I don't know. I think Davis is cool. Davis kind of like, from what I remember, it's been a long time since I watched O2. Davis always like really stepped up when he needed to in terms of being a leader. And being like, especially when it came to Ken and Ken's issues, he always stepped up when he needed to like get stuff done. And I know there are probably some people who really didn't like his like interest in Kari, but I actually thought it was really neat. I thought that it was really, like, they did his character really well with that, with like, I never felt like he was really overbearing with how much he liked Kari and wanted to like get her attention. And from what I remember, he was always like, you know, he liked Kari, you know? Like, it wasn't just like for no reason. He was like, oh, Kari is great and I like her because of etc. and wanted to get her attention, but was never like overly annoying about it from what I remember. Like, he never like, I don't want to make it sound this serious, because it's not this serious for a Digimon show, but never, like, treated Kari like an object, I guess is what I want to say, but there's a better way to word what I'm trying to get across, but hopefully you understand the vibe of what I'm putting down. I think there is also a contingent of people that just really don't like Digimon Adventure 02. It's a very small contingent, but that contingent is loud when they want to be. 02 is great. I rewatched 02 kind of recently. I loved how willing he was to give Ken a second chance and argued or urged the others to do the same. I do really like a protagonist who is, and it's probably very obvious because I love Naruto, like the show Naruto. I also like Naruto the character, even though he's not my favorite from Naruto. He's up there though. But dude, there are way too many Gryphonmon and not enough Shikuomon here. But I love a protagonist who is willing to like give like rivals and villains second chances, but also is like like, kind of reasonable about it, I guess. Not just like, you know, oh, I'll give you a pass on everything ever for always. But is like, hey, listen, we're gonna work this out kind of deal. I've never watched Naruto. The filler is scaring me. You should definitely watch with a filler guide, or even more so than that, you should just read the manga, because Naruto, the anime, is actually pretty bad because of how bloated and fillery it is, but the manga is fantastic. Goku, but smart? Goku, but smarter. It's one of the things I don't like about Super is that, like, Frieza came back and is, like, a good guy, quotation marks. Like, that always rubbed me the wrong way. Like, Vegeta getting redemption, super on board for. Really well done, fantastic stuff. Like, Frieza? Nah, dog. Nah, dog. Does the Naruto Kai stuff I found work? Yeah, I did. So, Wolfen did actually find a, it's a little finicky here and there. But, the link you gave me did work. I was able to download all of it, Wolfen, so I got my hands on Naruto Kai. Thank you for that. There was one episode that was missing that I had to find somewhere else from that Media Fire link you gave me. I think it was like, it was one of the Pain episodes. It was like episode 47 or something. Literally just didn't work. So I had to find that again. The subtitles were a little shoddy at times, but it did have both English dub and sub, which was pretty cool. There were some episodes where the Japanese subs were there, even if you watched in English. So it was a little finicky, but it got the job done, which is about all you can ask for an incredible fan project that tried to fix Naruto's awful pacing. Would Frieza really be considered good, only joined up with all of them because Goku promised to revive him, if I remember correctly? If Goku promised to revive Frieza, the maniacal tyrant that, like, enslaved multiple races and made them commit atrocities and so on and so forth, and then also, like, all the stuff that Frieza did, then yeah, that's, like, that's not him being good so much as Goku being way too stupid for my liking. And I'm not trying to say, because people always bring up this argument, I feel like, is they're like, Vegeta was enslaved, but also Vegeta didn't mind killing people. And you're right, but as soon as Vegeta was out of slavery and ended up on Earth, he pretty much immediately was like, okay, well, I'm not going to spend my days, like, literally massacring planets anymore. Like, as soon as he was out of Frieza's thumb, he was like, I'm actually going to be, like, a pretty cool guy, all things considered, from here on. And then he earned his redemption from there on. Frieza, like, to the very, very end was like, hey, Goku, when you gave me a chance to survive, I'm still gonna try and kill you and then go back to, like, murdering people and enslaving people and whatnot. I'm not about it. I personally am not about it. They were trying to build the best team for the Tournament of Power, and with Boo sleeping, they needed someone else strong or the whole universe would be destroyed. Okay, so I'm gonna hit you with a couple of things here really quick. Who decided that Boo was sleeping, and who decided that they needed someone stronger? It was the writers, right? What the writers could have done instead is they could have just been like, oh, we don't need Frieza, or like, hey, this, like, whole bringing back Frieza subplot is actually kind of stupid. Let's not do that. And instead they did. So right there, you're already, like, at a loss in my eyes. Like, that's not working. Second of all, like, come on. Like, it's Goku. They did not need Frieza to win the Tournament of Power. They were just like, hey, you know, normally we just have Goku be able to do everything anyway because he's Goku. But this time, we really want to make sure that people still watch this because it turns out Dragon Ball Super is kind of, like, really crappily written. And we sort of have to bait on nostalgia to get people to keep up with this crap. So let's throw Frieza in there. And I want to be very clear. You might be like, oh, you just didn't even watch it. I didn't watch the Tournament of Power. I will admit. I watched Super all the way through the Goku Black arc. I watched all of everything up to the Goku Black arc, and then I was like, this sucks. And then I was out. You think they only brought Frieza back for the nostalgia factor? I think it's like 90% of it, yeah. I wholeheartedly believe that, because here's the thing, right? They don't need Frieza to, like, build up characters or whatnot. They've got Trunks, Goten, Gohan, Piccolo that they could put more focus on. They've got your classic Goku and Vegeta. Who else do you really need, honestly, in Dragon Ball at that point? They got Android 18 they could try and do some more stuff with. They have so many options to build up a character instead of being like, let's bring back Frieza. Like, hello? So yes, I wholeheartedly, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, Dragon Ball Super is in general kind of a cash grab. Like, Dragon Ball was perfectly fine being finished with Dragon Ball Z. I think that Dragon Ball Z had, you know, we were talking earlier, right? About how so many anime like Attack on Titan, and we're kind of worried that JJK is gonna have the same problem. Even Naruto kind of had it with the Kaguya stuff. The Kaguya thing was not good in Naruto, but Naruto brought it back with the Naruto versus Sasuke finisher, which I think gave it a good ending, even though Kaguya was very But, like, we were just talking earlier about how so many anime have trouble sticking the landing and just, like, end horribly when they could have, and like don't have good endings and whatnot. Dragon Ball Z was basically perfect. There's really not much they could have done different in Dragon Ball Z to like end better than the Kid Buu fight. Like, they basically nailed it with the Kid Buu fight, in my opinion. Some people might argue like Gohan should have been more important and like they think the Ultimate Gohan should have like been a finisher or something like that. But I personally, especially with like Vegeta's final moments of being like, you're the best, Kakarot, and ending it on a spirit bomb of all things, I think that was flawless. They really could not go, they couldn't do any better. Like, they couldn't do any better. That was the perfect place to end off. And then they tried GT, and GT was a mess. GT had a lot of really cool ideas, but executed horribly. And then I think Super is, I don't even think the ideas in Super are that good, to be honest. I don't like Super Saiyan, God Super Saiyan. I don't like Ultra Instinct. I don't really like the Gods of Destruction, Gods of Creation, whatever they have going on. I don't like bringing back Frieza. The Tournament of Power is whatever from its concept. I didn't like the Goku Black stuff. Like, I just think that Dragon Ball Z had a great ending, and at some point you need to let a story end. And Dragon Ball Z had its ending. However, consider a bunch of people, a bunch of executives were like, but what if money, though? And then we got, like, GT, followed by a bunch of movies that were very hit or miss, mostly miss from what I remember. And then we got Super, which to me is still very much a miss. And then we have stuff like Boruto. Naruto, overall, didn't like, Naruto, I don't think it like stuck the landing. Naruto didn't have a perfect ending, but Naruto had a good ending because of Sasuke versus Naruto. If it had just ended on Kaguya, I would have been like, man, they really screwed up that ending. But they ended Naruto pretty much perfectly, as well as you could after Kaguya happened, with Naruto versus Sasuke. Naruto versus Sasuke at the end of Naruto was flawless in my eyes. And then they were like, but hey, if we make Boruto, we can get like a lot of money. And they were like, dude, you're so right. You're so right. Let's get a lot of money. And now Boruto exists. Ba-da-boom. Cooler's Revenge was a good movie, I think. Dragon Ball has had some crap movies and it's had some good movies throughout its years. They're kind of hit or miss. Like Fusion Reborn, good movie. Bio Broly or whatever it is, not a good movie. Double Blade. So basically, you know, at the end of the day, I don't like Dragon Ball Super. I don't really mind it, I guess. I just ignore it. But I gave it a try as well. I want to be clear. Like, I watched all the way. The thing is when I first saw Super, I was like, this is definitely a cash grab. Why would anyone watch this? And then people were like, dude, Goku Black Saga was so good, dude. And I was like, okay, I'll give it a try. I watched all the way through to the Goku Black Saga, and I was like, all right, this better be pretty good, and I thought it was trash. And so at that point, I was like, I gave you a fair shake. I'm out of here. Nailed it. There wasn't even any holy experience in this fight. How long have we been... Man, this must be great for YouTube. I hope they enjoy whatever we're shooting the breeze about. You can degenerate again. There we go. Okay, now we can take this thing straight up to Lady Devamon. Perfect. I want to... Before we do the Gold Tamer test, I want this thing to at least be Vilemon again, if not already Lady Devamon. Don't lecture me with your $30 haircut. Impmon. What are you looking like on Holy Experience? I'm not leaving here until you have 17,500. 2,500 more? Ugh. Ugh. At least getting Holy Experience is like manageable in Dawn, but it's still such a pain. It's always funny to me that Goku's English voice actor doesn't like Team 4-Star. Sean Schemmel? Has he, like, actually made a statement that, like, he dislikes TFS? I gotta be honest with you, I like TFS. I want to preface this by saying I like Team 4-Star's work. Like, let me be more clear. I shouldn't say that I like TFS. I like Dragon Ball Z Abridged. I like Dragon Ball Z Abridged. I think it's funny. I think it's a good time. I'm not really a big fan of Team 4-Star in general. I don't really agree with a lot of the things that they seem to think about the Dragon Ball franchise from what I've seen of what they've said and whatnot. And you know what I really, really don't like? Is I don't like people who like Dragon Ball Z Abridged more than Dragon Ball Z. I wasn't going to say his name, Wolfen, but yeah, you basically said the exact creator in Team 4-Star that I just, like, do not agree with a lot of what he says, yeah. But, like, I think it's kind of calmed down now because Dragon Ball Z Abridged ended a good while ago. But there was a period where, like, people were like, oh my goodness, the people who make, like, Dragon Ball Z Abridged, like the TFS people, they know Dragon Ball so much better than I was about to say Kishimoto, that's Naruto's author, like, so much better than Toriyama, and they understand the characters so much better, and they, like, portray them so much better, and do them, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm like, shut up. Shut up. Dragon Ball Z Abridged is, like, they're funny, and they understand the characters pretty well, and they do some things that, like, capture the characters well. They do some things that are, like, an overblown gag of the character for the sake of funny. But then a bunch of people are just like, oh, remember when they made it, like, really emotional when Gohan killed Cell? They know the characters better than the original. And I'm like, no, you don't. No, they don't. No one knows Goku better than Akira Toriyama. Shut up. It was like an era of, there was an era like when TFS was finishing the Cell saga that it was insufferable to try and like talk to people about Dragon Ball Z. And there are a lot of people who just don't even watch Dragon Ball Z and instead they just watch Abridged. And they're like, yeah, I know all about Dragon Ball because I watched TFS's Dragon Ball Z Abridged. And I'm like, no, you freaking don't. Shut up. You have no idea what you're talking about. Also, I'll never forgive them for not doing the Boo Saga because I'm pretty sure at least one person on the TFS team is the kind of person who's like, man, they should have ended DBZ at Cell and never even done the Boo Saga. And and anyone who says that is wrong. Because the Boo Saga, while not perfect, and I'm gonna let you in a little secret, like the Frieza and Cell sagas aren't perfect either. Spoiler. While the Boo Saga is not perfect, Dragon Ball Z would be so much for the worse if they had never gotten, like, the character development and some of the fights and the moments that happen in the Boo Saga. The Boo Saga is my favorite overall because it has some of the best moments. Ultimate Gohan showing up, Vegeta's sacrifice, Goku and Vegeta fighting each other again. The Vegito versus Super Buu fight is the best fight in Dragon Ball history. I will take no arguments. And as well as the final fight of Goku and Vegeta against Kid Buu. Like, incredible, incredible stuff. So, you know, I'll never forgive them for not doing it. And I don't care about that they, like, someone's like, well, they did a couple of shorts of it. I don't care. There's definitely someone on TFS who is like, it should have ended at the Cell Saga. We can end it at the Cell Saga. That's how it should have been. And that person is an idiot. They're dead wrong. I don't care how good, how funny they are at writing little haha jokes using Dragon Ball Z as a background. Not the supersonic voice. I could have sworn they recently did the Buu Saga. They did a, like, little mini-series where they took some specific moments from the Buu Saga and dubbed over it, but they did not go through the Buu Saga. They pretty much ended at the Cell Saga. They don't make episodes. They did not make episodes of the Buu Saga. They just did a bunch of little shorts where they recorded some, like, famous moments that they were like, this is what people wanted to see the most, and now they'll never get to see it because we're not going to do it. Also, this paralysis is mad annoying. At the end of the day, the main thing is that, and this isn't really TFS's fault, so I don't really hold this part against, like, TFS themselves, but, like, there are legitimately a non-negligible amount of people that think that Dragon Ball Z Abridged is the best way to experience Dragon Ball Z, and they're wrong, because the best way to experience Dragon Ball Z is Dragon Ball Z Kai. Dragon Ball Z Abridged is funny, and it's worth a watch, and it's a good time. You should absolutely not watch it and not watch Dragon Ball Z. You should watch Dragon Ball Z if you want to experience Dragon Ball Z.